खुदा में रज़वी हो।
आपकी खातिर बनाए दो जहां, आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप।
सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह।
आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। For you both the worlds he created. आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। For you he created, for you both the worlds he created. In other words, in your honor both the worlds were created by Allah. Ya Rasulullah. In your honor both the worlds were created by Allah, and in His honor the one whom He created you are. आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। This beautiful couplet, which is a couplet by which we will be able to understand the essence of creation, the reality of the takhliq of insan and the rest of the creation, is a couplet that is beautifully written by the Qutb al-Afthab of the era, Huzur Sayyidi wa Sanadi Sarkar-e Taj Sharia Rahbar-e Tariqat, Allama Mufti Imam Qadi Akhtar Raza Khan Muhammad Akhtar Raza Khan Al-Qaadiri radiyallahu anhu. He says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, आपकी खातिर बनाए दो जहां, आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। या रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, in your honor both the worlds were created by Allah. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in your honor both the worlds were created by Allah, and in His honor, in Allah's, to honor Allah, in His honor, the one whom He created you are. Now this is such a beautiful couplet, and the reason that I decided to discuss this couplet a little bit today is because there was a request for it, number one, and this request was based on somebody objecting to this couplet. One scholar somewhere says that this couplet is not suitable to read. If this is not suitable to read, then what is suitable to read? आपकी खातिर बनाए दो जहां, अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। या रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, in your honor both the worlds were created by Allah, and in His honor the one whom He created you are. What is wrong? Firstly, probably the person who made this objection didn't realize that this share is written by Tajush Sharia, written by the personality who is the crown bearer of fulfilling the commands of the Shariat. And Tajush Sharia is that person that didn't move from Shariat. Everything that he did was based on Shariat, everything he commanded was based on Shariat. Never based on Tabi'at, never based on his own wills and fancies. Whatever he commanded was based on the Shariat. Why? Because Allah had appointed him for this. And he says in this beautiful couplet, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, आपकी खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है। या Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let me tell you, probably the one who objected about this, firstly didn't know whose it was. Secondly, he had no insight into the reality of this couplet. Because this couplet, about it, Huzur Taj Sharia was personally asked, can you explain it? And Hazrat explained it. And if somebody really wants to speak about certain thing like this, then the first thing is go and do a little bit of research. Go and do a little bit of tahqiq. Everybody wants to be muhakkik today. Everybody wants to be a muhakkik and give fatawa and give their views. First make some tahqiq. Huzur Taj Sharia, what he said, I'm translating it for you. Huzur Taj Sharia himself, when he was asked about this couplet and the wisdom and the secret behind this couplet, he responded by saying that this is just as Ustaz Zaman had said. This is just as Ustaz Zaman had said. In other words, who? Ustaz Zaman, Allama Hasan, the younger brother of Ala Hazrat Adimul Barakat radiallahu anhu. When Huzur Taj Sharia was asked to explain it, he said, this is just as Ustaz Zaman had said, कि कौनैन बनाए गए सरकार के खातिर, कौनैन बनाए गए सरकार की खातिर और कौनैन की खातिर तुम्हें सरकार बनाया. कौनैन बनाए गए, सुभान अल्लाह, कौनैन बनाए गए सरकार की खातिर. Both the worlds have been created for the honor and for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. और कौनैन की खातिर तुम्हें सरकार बनाया. And for the sake of both the worlds, you have been made the leader of both the worlds. You have been made the king and the emperor of both the worlds. He answered by saying that, and he said, in the same, there is a share, in the same thing of Ustaz Zaman, there is a share, अपने लिए तेरा गुले रुखसार बनाया. अपने लिए तेरा गुले रुखसार बनाया. For him, he created your beautiful countenance. Your beautiful rosy Mubarak cheeks, Ya Rasulullah, your beautiful face. What does it mean? For the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be the manifestation of the tajalli of Almighty Allah. आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. What does it mean? Huzur Taj Sharia then himself further says. He explains it himself. He said, there what is being meant is Almighty Allah blessed Huzur Sarwar Alam sallallahu alaihi wasallam with mahbubiyat, and specifically made him what? He says, and specifically made him his beloved. He granted him the special closeness, very blessed maqam of mahbubiyat. And he explains, this is just explained in the Holy Quran as well, and in the tafasir of the Quran as well. So what does it mean? आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. It was said to honor and revere the Nabi that I have made you my beloved. The people should know that he has been made the beloved. And Huzur Taj Sharia then said the same applies in this couplet that I am saying. कि आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. This is such a beautiful kalam. It is such a beautiful couplet that, as I said, it explains for man to understand the foundation of creation. That आपकी खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now if you have to look at the Quran about this, if the person objecting had to go and look at the Quran a little bit, then you would have seen that the Quran says, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. What does the Quran say? Surah Taha, verse number 41. 20th surah of the Quran, verse number 41. What Allah is saying in it? وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. Allah is saying in the Holy Quran, and I made you exclusively for myself. Who is being said this? Musa alayhi salam. And I have made you, I have created you, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ. And I have created you, I have made you, I have appointed you. For what? Specifically, exclusively for myself. Now, if you look at this same ayat, if whoever objected had to look at the same ayat in Kanzul Iman, the translation, and then underneath, if he looked at Khazanul Irfan a little bit, made a little bit effort and looked at the tafsir, they would have seen that the tafsir says, apne wahi aur risalat ke liye, why made him his own and his special servant? At that time it's being spoken about Musa alayhi salam. अपनी वही और रिसालत के लिए ताकि तू मेरे इरादा और मेरी मोहब्बत पर तसर्रुफ करे और मेरे हुज्जत पर कायम रहे और मेरे खल्क के दरमियान खिताब पहुंचाने वाला हो. In other words, he made him for his wahi and his risala so that you may act as per my will and upon my love, and said that you may remain steadfast upon my proofs, and so that you may be the one who will pass the message from me to the creation. आपके खातिर बनाए तो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. And if you look at the hadith and if you look at the statements of the hadith, you will see And if you look at the words of the Sufyan Ikram where they mention the gist of the hadith, what will you find? You will find, لَوْلَاكَ لَمَا أَظْهَرْتُ الرَّبُوبِيَّةِ. What has been mentioned? That, oh my beloved, if you were not, if I had not created you, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I would have not made apparent that I am the Rabb. I would have not made apparent that I am the Rabb. لَوْلَاكَ لَمَا أَظْهَرْتُ الرَّبُوبِيَّةِ. Okay, I would have not made it apparent that I am the Rabb. I would have not made it apparent that I am Allah. And then again it comes, what it comes? لَوْلَاكَ لَمَا خَلَقْتُ الدُّنْيَا. I would have not created the earth. Another narration comes, Aflaq, I would have not created the skies. I would have not created nothing, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if it were not for you. So aapke khatir banaye do jahan. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan. Aur apne khatir jo banaya aap hai ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the essence of the hadith. Hazrat Sayyidi Ala Hazrat radiallahu anhu mentions this, explains this even in Malfuz Sharif. This is even mentioned, ab thoda dekh lete to samajh mein aati. This has been explained even in the Malfuz Sharif. And it has been mentioned, there is another narration, it is said that Almighty Allah is saying, it is mentioned that, O my most beloved, I created the creation so that I may have them recognize the grandness and the honor which you have in my divine court. Why I have created? لَقَدْ خَلَقْتُ الدُّنْيَا وَأَهْلَهَا. I created you, and I created, oh my beloved, I created the dunya, I created the creation so that I may have them recognize your maqam, your greatness in my exalted court, which you have in my divine court. And oh my beloved, وَلَوْلَاكَ مَا خَلَقْتُ الدُّنْيَا. Oh my beloved, if I had not created you, if it were not for you, I would have not created this earth. I would have not created nothing. In other words, everything that is created in this dunya is through the sadaqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Shaykh Muhakkik radiallahu anhu, Shaykh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Derbi radiallahu anhu himself, when he quotes لَوْلَاكَ لَمَا خَلَقْتُ الدُّنْيا, when he quotes this narration, he says that from the very beginning, from the very beginning of time, Almighty Allah addressed it with these words. He addressed the situation with these words. And it was said that, oh beloved, you are Allah's most blessed servant and His chosen servant, and with you alone, Ya Rasulullah, Allah is saying, I have entrusted my light. I have entrusted my nur, and the keys of my treasures are with you. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the keys of my treasures are with you. It is for you that I have laid down the earth and elevated the skies. It is for you that I have laid down the earth and I have elevated the skies. And to you I have created reward and torment, the punishment of heaven and hell. In other words, who will follow you, who will obey you, he'll go to Jannat because he has obeyed me. And who will reject you, he has rejected me, he will go to Jannah for that day. Think is this, all this is for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aapki khatir banaye jo jahan. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan. Aur apne khatir jo banaya aap hai. And it was further mentioned, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have not created anyone more exalted than you. यही बोले सिदरा वाले चमने जहां के थाले, सभी मैंने छान डाले, तेरे पाए का न पाया, तुझे यक ने यक बनाया, मुस्तफाए जात यकता आप है, यक ने जिसको यक बनाया आप है, और आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां, आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां, और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Allah Almighty addressed Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, who? Adam alayhi salam. What did Almighty Allah say to Adam alayhi salam? If it were not for Muhammad, I would have neither created you, nor the earth, nor the sky. Adam alayhi salam, Abul Bashar. If it were not for you, for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I had not created Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I would have not created you, I would have not created the earth, I would have not created the sky. And the same was said to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Now I want to come to a point. The same was said to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam when the time he asked about the grandness of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he wanted to be the Nabi of that ummah. And it was said to him, no, already appointed upon them is my beloved Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about the Nabi, it was said to Musa alayhi salam at that time, had I not created him, O Musa, I would have not created you. I have not made anything zahid, that I am the Rabb. I have not made zahid the skies and the earth. I would have created nothing, O Musa. All is because of him. Now when the Quran is saying, when it comes to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when it comes to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, the Holy Quran is saying, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي, and I created him exclusively for me. Now when this is being said, subhanallah, when this is being said about the beloved Hazrat Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when the Quran is saying this about Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, then what can be said about him who is the Imam of Musa alayhi salam and the Imam of all the Anbiya? So it is being said that, oh Musa, I said about you that I have chosen you specially for me. But remember that if I had not created Muhammad, you too would have not been there. If I had not created Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you too would not have been there. So you, O Musa, are special. Oh Musa, you are special. You are definitely special, but you are the Khalil. This is my Habib. This is my beloved Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan. Aur apne khatir jo banaya aap hai. This is the message, and the gist of this is that in him, if you look at the tafsir, you look at tafsir Ruhul Bayan, and you look at the other tafsir, when you look at the tafsir of this verse that I've been reciting a few times now to you, in it, the Mufassirin have stated that this means that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam is the manifestation of the Jalwa and the commands of Allah, because he was made the means between the Creator and the creation. Why? For his ummah at that time. And the beloved Nabi is made the means between Allah and even the Anbiya. Even the Anbiya, whatever they get it from Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and between the rest of the creation. So the greatest and the most powerful means from the creation of Allah and the greatest wasila is Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything is for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why Huzur Tabi Sharia is saying, Aapke khatir banaye do jahan, aur apne khatir jo banaya aap hai. Ustaz Zaman says, Shab-e Asra ke dulha par nichabar hone wali. Ustaz Zaman Shahanshah Sukhan says, Shab-e Asra ke dulha par nichabar होने वाली थी, नहीं तो क्या गरज थे इतने जानों के बनाने से. In other words, everything is for the sake of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And for those who object to this, for the person who objected to this and had a different view when it came to the reality of the share of Huzur Sayyidi Taj Sharia, when he looked at the share when he looked at the share ke aapke khatir banaye do jahan, apne khatir jo banaya aap hai, if you went and looked at the kalam 2 shares before, 1 share before, 2 shares before, and the share after, probably you would have understood better what is in Tafsir Ruhul Bayan. Would have understood better what is in Tafsir Ruhul Bayan. That when Musa is the manifestation of the commands of Allah, then what about Nabi Musa alayhi salam's Imam Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What did Hazrat Taj Sharia say? What did he say in the share before that? He said, Aapki tal'at khuda ka aina. What did he say? Aapki tal'at खुदा का आईना जिसमें चमके हक का जलवा आप, जिसमें चमके. Your countenance is indeed the manifestation of Allah Almighty. Your countenance is indeed the manifestation of Almighty Allah, the one in whom glows the light of Allah. You are, Ya Rasulullah. And if you read a little bit further, they would have understand even more. कि आपको रब ने किया अपना हबीब, आपको रब ने किया अपना हबीब, सारी खलकत का खुलासा आप. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Almighty Allah has indeed made you His most beloved, the spirit and the essence of the entire creation. Ya Rasulullah, you are. So this is the maqam that has been given to the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. This is the excellence. Everything is because of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why we hear and we read often, ye wo jo na the to kuch na tha, wo jo na ho to kuch na ho. Jaan hai wo jahan ki, jaan hai to jahan hai. Let me tell you, when the beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in his cradle and he was moving his Mubarak finger, and when the moon was moving from this end to that end, based on the movement of the Mubarak finger of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam, then the moon was not moving because it was superior. It was moving because it was under the command of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. So when the moon moved as the toy. Today we, for understanding terms, I'm using the word toy. We children, our children today, we give them dunyawi toys to play. We give them worldly toys to play. But here the Nabi is moving his finger in the cradle as a child, and the moon is moving. Noor is moving Noor. Noor is playing with Noor. What does it show you? That moon was created so that it may be subservient in the court of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when Nabi picked up his finger by the command of Allah, when he picked up his finger by the command of Allah, and he split the chest of the moon in two, then too it was shown that that moon is here for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ishare se chand cheer diya, jebe hue khur ko pher diya. This is the sign of the finger of Rasulullah. And when the beloved Nabi brought the sun back from the west for Hazrat Mawla Ali radiallahu ta'ala, that even on that time it was shown that that son is a ghulam in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan aur apne khatir jo banaya aap hai. And that is why, where Sahaba Sharif was reading just now, if we only understood that, what did Allah Hazrat Azimul Barakat radiallahu tell us? He's telling us that which Huzur Taj Sharia is saying, that everything is there for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Zameen o zaman tumhare liye, makin o makan tumhare liye, chunin o chuna tumhare liye, bane do jahan tumhare liye. Ya Rasulullah, for you the space and the time are existing. For you its residence and residence are existing. For you all of this and all of that are existing. Created for you, both the worlds are existing. Zameen o zaman tumhare liye, makin o makan tumhare liye, chunin o chana tumhare liye, bane do jahan tumhare liye. दहन में ज़ुबान तुम्हारे, दहन में ज़ुबान तुम्हारे लिए, बदन में है जान तुम्हारे लिए. दहन में ज़ुबान तुम्हारे लिए, बदन में है जान तुम्हारे लिए. हम आए यहाँ तुम्हारे लिए, उठे भी वहाँ तुम्हारे लिए. The tongues in our mouths, for you we are having. The tongues in our mouths, for you we are having. The life in your body, in our bodies, for you we are having. The tongue in our mouths, for you we are having. The lives in our bodies, for you we are having. We have come here indeed for you, my King. We have come here indeed for you, my King. In the hereafter as well, for you we will be rising. Dahan mein zubaan tumhare liye, badan mein hai jaan tumhare liye. Hum aaye yahan tumhare liye, uthe bhi wahan tumhare liye. Translate this. Translate this. Aapke khatir banaye do jahan. आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. और फरिश्ते कदम रसूल हशम तमाम उमम गुलाम करम. रसूल कदम रसूल फरिश्ते कदम रसूल हशम तमाम उमम गुलाम करम वजूद अदम हुदूस क़दम जहां में आया तुम्हारे लिए. या रसूल अल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, angels are your servants as your aides the Rasuls are serving. Angels are your servants as your aides the Rasuls are serving. The generous blessings as servants, the generous blessings as servants, every nation is seeking. Your generous blessings as servants, every nation is seeking. The existent and the non-existent, every old and new thing for you in this world are manifestly existing. All this is for you. All this is for you. आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपने खातिर जो बनाया आप है. So Musa alayhi salam was chosen as special, as the Quran is saying, but above him is Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Allah Hazrat Azimul Barakat is saying, Kalimo Naji, Masiho Safi, Khalilo Naji, Masiho Safi, Kalimo Naji, Masiho Safi, Khalilo Razi, Rasulo Nabi, Atiko Wasi, Ghani Wali, Sanati Zabat, tumhare liye. All of them for you. And tumhari chamak, तुम्हारी दमक, तुम्हारी चमक, तुम्हारी धमक, तुम्हारी झलक, तुम्हारी महक, ज़मीन व फलक, सिमा को समक में सिक्का निशान तुम्हारे लिए. All this, Ya Rasulullah, is for you. Everything that Allah created, Ya Rasulullah, it is for you, because Allah's beloved Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is that personality about which it is being commanded and said that if it were not for you, Adam would have not been here. If it were not for you, Musa alayhi salam would have not been here. So if Adam alayhi salam would have not been here, who is the father of mankind, where would have mankind been? Everything is through Muhammad Rasulullah and for Muhammad Rasulullah, by the command of Allah. And why is this? As Hazrat Taj Sharia said, to show the mahbubiyat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what this couplet means. This is what the couplet means. कि आपके खातिर बनाए दो जहां और अपनी खातिर जो बनाया आप है. That He created everything. Allah created everything and gave honor, created everything in the honor of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for him, for his honor, He created Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That all come to to the door of the beloved Nabi, and the Nabi comes on your behalf in the court of Allah. Ba khuda khuda ka yahi hai dar. Ba khuda khuda ka yahi hai dar. This is what is being said. So may Allah bless us with understanding before objecting. May Allah bless us with understanding before objecting, so that we may understand when the words of the pious are said, every letter, every word is full of wisdom. Every word is flowing with the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is that Taj Sharia. This is the Urs, this is the month of his Urs. Inshallah, tomorrow after Salatul Maghrib, at Imam Mustafa Razali's Center, 28 Clayton Road, we'll be commemorating the Urs. Salat al-Quds of Huzur Sadr Sharia radiallahu anhu and Huzur Taj Sharia radiallahu, both these great Imams. After Salat al-Maghrib meals, accommodation only, unfortunately. So, he is that Imam who spent his entire life on firmness on the Sharia. Firmness on the Sharia. Even when he went to the Haramain, he didn't look this side, that side. He was arrested for not leaving behind the Wahhabis, but he remained steadfast on the Sharia. This is that personality that would Allah's mercy and blessing showered upon him. This is that personality, Huzur Sayyidi Taj Sharia radiallahu anhu, who was so firm on the Sharia that when he gave a command, he remained by it till the day he left this dunya. We should learn that when we love these personalities, it is our duty to follow them. And follow them as they commanded us to follow them. And if we do that, we will find kamyabi here and the hereafter. Real kamyabi, real success, real honor, real izzat is when you say, this is my sheikh, it means you have sold yourself to him. You have sold yourself to him, you belong to him. Whatever you do should be in accordance with what he does. And when he speaks and when he says words, and this is not, I'm not talking about this every Tom, Dick and Harry that today is calling himself a peer. I'm talking about Kamil Shuyukh. Those who are Kamil Shuyukh, that are firm on the Shariat of Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today people look for karamat. Today when people want to see how great that Hazrat is, they want to see the karamat. They want to see if he can fly. If he can do this, he can do that. Don't you forget that Jaipal Jadugar also used to fly? He also used to fly. What brought him down? The sandal of Sarkar-e Khaja Gharibun Nawaz. The sandal of Sarkar-e Gharibun Nawaz. You don't look at that, you look at the firmness on the Shariat. You look at istiqamat on Shariat. What did Junaid Baghdadi say? He said those people who try to do things by leaving the Shariat, people say they have reached. He said, yes, they have reached the door of hell. They have reached the door of hell. So this is why we call him Taj Sharia. Because this honor was granted to him because of his firmness on Sharia. His true love for Allah and his beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The personality who said, that is why he said he lived and he left this world. As per his words, Zindagi ye nahi hai kisi ke liye. Zindagi hai Nabi ke liye. And today we die for this dunya and for the pleasures of this dunya and for the name of this dunya. Na samajh, Hazrat is saying, na samajh marte hai zindagi ke liye. Na samajh marte hai zindagi ke liye. Jeena marna hai sab kuch Nabi ke liye. And that is the personality who said, aapke khatir banaye do jahaan. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, apne khatir jo banaya, aap hai wa ma'alina al-balagh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant shifa kamil.